Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, daylight savings time's hit, and but it's subtraction this time. It's taken away an hour, and so fall has begun. So that means I've got to get my oil changed on my Nissan Frontier 2014. And I wanted to do this video because there's some unique things about how to change oil on this truck. So hopefully it'll help somebody out there. And also, you know, all my other 2014 Nissan Frontier videos have done quite well, and seems to be a lot of interest in this truck. So I thought I'd take you along, and it's got to be done anyway. So let's get started. All right, let's get this hood open, and I'll let this thing run for a while so that oil would get heated up. Yeah, she's warm, I can feel the heat. So let the engine oil get settled down into the pan, and then we will check the oil level first, because I'm kind of curious to see how the oil is doing. We're right at 3,000 miles on this oil change, so I'd kind of like to see what the oil looks like. So let that oil get down into the pan, and then we'll go from there. I gotta get me some coffee. Okay, I got a shop towel here, and let's check this oil level now that the oil's down in the pan. And the dipstick for the oil is right here. You'll see it. It's a yellow handle on it. So just pull up. Okay, let's take a look here. All right, you see those two holes? The oil level is supposed to be in between those two holes. So it's a pretty wide margin, and it looks like I'm up there about maybe a half a quart low or so. It's not too bad. Let me turn it around here. Hold on. So that's what it looks like. See how it's got marked low on that end? I don't know if you can see that. And then high, an H for high on that end. So basically, it's a little low. Not too bad though. And the oil looks pretty good. So that's 3,000 miles. Okay, now that we know what the old oil level is, we'll go ahead and you can see where the oil dipstick should go, and then we'll put that right on back in there. And then I want to show you underneath what you're up against when you go changing the oil filter on this thing. And that's the main dilemma on this truck, is it's pretty brutal. But you can see, I don't know if you can see there, I probably should have brought a flashlight, but there's the oil filter right there. It's a Wix. But what you have to do, they provide an access door right here, but I've tried it, and I'm here to tell you, it's an awkward position. It cuts the crap out of your arm, and it's really not worth it. So what I do is I take this whole entire panel off, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. as we get started with this oil change. But I just wanted to first show you what you're up against down here so that you can get the oil filter out. Okay, we're going to begin taking this shroud off from below here. And the first piece you got to take off, unfortunately, is this, because it's covering this one and you can't get to the screws. So we have to start here, and it uses a 10 millimeter, and I just use a ratchet. I mean, you could use a cordless drill, but I just don't, because I don't want to strip anything out. And you know, a ratchet's going to be a lot more delicate than a cordless drill with a socket on it, you know. So anyway, let's get started on that. I'm going to set you down, and then I'm going to start tweaking on these things and get this shroud out of my way. Yep, here we go, folks. Time to get her done. Alright, we're going to start, because this is the one, yes. Okay, so we start right here. There it goes. Yeah. All right, there's the first piece. Just lay it to the side. Get all the screws for that one. Okay. So now, all right, it's time to get this panel out of the way now. And all right, that one will slide out of your way. Now you got access. All those screws. All right, see, now we have complete unfettered access to that oil filter. So that's how you do that. Now the drain plug is right there, and I've already got the pan in place, so that's going to be our next step. Let's start draining the oil. All right, now let's get this oil drain. Now you got to remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So we should go this direction. Yep, there it went. All right. So, and keep in mind, you're going to get oil all over yourself. It's just what it is. So here comes the oil. There we go. Alright, I'm just gonna wipe off the bolt. Alright, ladies and gents, the drain plug is a 14 millimeter, so it takes a 14 millimeter socket. And also, whenever I'm draining the oil, I like to take the cap off so that air is able to flow through the engine. That way it pushes all the old oil out. However, I do keep the cap still kind of covering it. That way no debris drops down into your engine. But at this point, we are ready to come down here and take off this oil filter. And I found the wrench that I use, and I don't even know where I got it, to be honest with you. But here it is. This is the wrench I use, and it just says, where does it say? Made in the USA. But it's a good one, and it fits this oil filter really well. So we'll get started on that next. Okay, we're ready to take this oil filter out, and I already put the drain plug back in, moved the drain over here with the oil in it so that it'll catch what spills out of the oil filter, and we're ready to go. I got to try to remember what angle you got to be in to use this tool, but I can't remember. It's been a while. I think it's like this. And you got to get it up real high so that it grips. There it goes. Now it's going to grip. There it goes. It's starting to loosen. All right. Ah. Yeah, it takes a little bit to get it at the right angle. You know, there's so much. Oh, come on. I kind of got it wedged on there. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. There we go. We're getting there, guys. It's just a really tight spot. But she's coming loose. I just gotta keep slowly getting her loose. All right, I think I can get it by hand now. Yeah. All right, here she's gonna come off. Hopefully I didn't. And once you get her coming off, come off as fast as you can so you make as least amount of a mess as possible. Come on now. So we'll let that drain, and then we'll put the new oil filter on. Woohoo! Let's see, what was the date on it? It come off. Huh. Well, that's a bummer. It's May something. Yeah, it would have been May of this year. That's right. Check it out. That's how I had to contort that wrench to get that oil filter off. So this wrench, I don't know where I got it, but boy, I'm glad I got it because it does a good job on this truck. Also, this oil change I'm doing on the V6 model, the 4.0 liter V6. So that's the model that this oil change is being done on. So I just wanted to point that out. I thought about it. I was like, I'd failed to mention that. Oh well. Okay, we're going with another Wix filter. It's part number 57356, and so that's what we're going to put back on here. Now, one thing I do is I just dip my finger in some oil, and I go ahead and I put oil on this seal before I put it up on the engine. That way it seals off really well. And you only have to put these on hand tight. So anyway, that's what's next. Let me get the oil. I'll get some oil on that seal, and we'll get that put on the engine. I got this quart of oil, and I'm gonna dip my finger in it, put some up on this seal. So I dipped my finger, got a little bit of oil, and I just put it on that seal like that. It creates a good bond onto the engine. And once you do that, let's get that on there. I'm going to first wipe this off. Make sure it's a good clean surface. And we're going to put that dude on there. Filter going on. Filter going on. Filter on. Like I said, you only have to go hand tight. You don't have to get too crazy with it. Clean up this excess oil. See, they got a little drain shelf right here. I don't know if you can see that. And it just makes it so much easier if you get those shrouds out of the way. See, you can get to all this, and you ain't making a big old mess. All right. So let me make sure it's on there tight. And usually I just put it hand tight, and that's all you got to do. Usually I do it with two hands if I get in a good position, and that's plenty. There we go. That's all she needs. Okay, we're ready to put oil in this thing. Let's remove the cap here. Set her up here. Got me a funnel. And I selected to go with Castro GTX. This is what I've always ran. I've ran this stuff for years. It's good oil. This is the synthetic blend. 5W30 is what Nissan calls for the V6. And they also call for the full capacity is 5 3/8 quarts. So this is 5 quarts, and then there'll be a partial quart that'll go in. So let's get started on this and get it filled up. All right, what did I do with that screwdriver? All right, pokage. Use this stool so it'll help me get up in the air a little bit. Let's do that. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, here we go. Hopefully no spillages. There we go, right in there. The other thing I do is I save these containers, and that way I can pour all the used oil in these containers, and I usually just take it and get it recycled or whatever they do with it. I don't want old used oil sitting around the house, you know. So I'm going to slowly get this poured back in the engine. But yeah, the owner's manual calls for 5 3/8 quarts to fill the V6. All right, folks, that's 5 quarts. So 5 quarts in there. Okay, I'm gonna put the cap back on it temporarily because I'm gonna start the engine and let that oil get down into the filter. So let's do that next. Dooby-dooby-doo. All right, let's start this engine, and that way we can get some oil down into the oil filter. Probably should have put oil in the filter, but I didn't think about doing that. Oil pressure's good. And that's all you need to do. Now I'm gonna let that settle in the pan, and then we're gonna top it off. All right, if you're gonna do an oil change, you may as well fill your windshield washer fluid. I mean, it's like Ryan says from Victory Outdoor Services. Come on! I mean, you know, it's just a basic thing to do. You always need a clean windshield, so just do it. I'm gonna try to live dangerous and do this without a funnel. Oh, spillages. Oh, crud. Oh well, at least it's cleaner. Maybe it'll clean something down yonder. Get on in there. Man, I didn't think it was that low. So this I always just grab a jug of this every time I do an oil change. You know, you'd be surprised how fast you go through it. Wow. She's pretty low. Oh, there she goes. She's full now. And be sure to put the cap on. I mean, don't get all the way to the end and then be a doofus, you know. All right, so that's done. Okay, oil's had enough time to get down to the pan. So let's go ahead and top this off. Let's see where we're at. I always clean it off first and then go back in. Gotta have a steady hand to get that. All right. So here's where we're at on oil level. Turn it on the right side here. So we got a little bit to put in yet. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And we'll have this oil change finished. say that's probably about right. A little bit more. Yeah, that should have topped her off right there. So we'll see where we're at now. We should be pretty darn close. Yeah, I'm gonna let it settle a little more. I'll come back in about 15, 20 minutes. And then we'll see where we're at. Well, I got the engine oil topped off and got that done. Like I showed you, I got the windshield washer fluid topped off. Everything looks good down here. We don't have any leakages going on. I'd show you the drain plug, but I can't get to it from here without contorting 40 million different ways. I got the two shrouds. I got to put those back on, and then got the used oil here. It's going to go into that container, and then I just take a marker and write on top of it used, and then it can be hauled off somewhere. So that's the end of this project. I just thought I would share that. It's kind of a hard little deal if you don't have that wrench, and I don't even know where I got that thing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps somebody. Obviously, without taking those shrouds off, it's a hard job. Trust me, I've done it. So anyway, I hope that helps any 2014 Nissan Frontier owners out there that would like to do change their oil themselves. Hopefully that helps you. And like, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. It helps out the channel. Until the next project, go do something. Have some fun. We'll see you.